This is Bernie Sanders, a senator.
Very much for joining me. I wanted to take a moment to share with you a letter that I've just sent to the three major leaders of the AI industry. And here's what the...
Whoa, 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 whoa! Only three? Gemini, Claude, OpenAI. I guess fuck you, Mr. Musk. Musk. And Bezos. And Zuckerberg.
letter says, I'm going to read it verbatim. Dear Mr. Altman, Mr. Modi, and Mr. Zuckerberg, almost every day there is
Wait, is this guy stupid? That's not the top three. Whatever.
a news story about how your companies are losing control of the AI technology you are developing with potentially cataclysmic results. This week we learned, frighteningly, that AI has been used for the first time ever to create new viruses.
Yes. I mean, that's happening all the time right now, but I believe it was last month, there was a terrorist who came to America, went to, I believe, Caltech, learned how to make a rabies virus that was airborne using AI, and they caught her, of course. But this is not the only instance. This is more than one terrorist group is looking at making homebrewed bioweapons using AI, and it's cheap as fuck. I learned recently you can get your entire genome sequenced for only $200. If you don't know what that means, there are two steps to editing or creating viruses, or even life in general, but viruses. First step is to sequence a genome, which means, understand all the DNA within the organism. And then two is to edit that DNA as much as you like. Now, normally, these two processes are not only expensive, they're incredibly time-consuming. Now, with AI, I believe the original price was like $100 million or some shit. You can now get it done for just like $200. That's crazy. I mean, that's ridiculous. And it can be done in a week, sooner if you have all the equipment. So, bioterrorism is about to kick up a storm, no doubt, by the end of this year.
As you know, this type of development in the wrong hands could lead to new bioweapons that result in the deaths of tens of millions of people. Last month, the world found out that OpenAI lost control of an AI model. The result? The model hacked into another company's computers, a clear violation of federal law. After conducting internal reviews, Anthropic and Meta reported their models similarly escaped.
Look, this is inevitable. It's not a promotion of it. It's not a condoning of it. However, for the most part, they did the right thing. They probably knew about it earlier and they didn't talk about it. And the only reason they had to was because Hugging Face went public. And it was like, what the fuck? But Bernie's taking the wrong position here, and it's because he doesn't understand what AI is in general. I knew he didn't understand it the second he said one AI hacked a couple computers. That's not what happened. But they're doing the right thing. We're playing with fucking technology that they're still struggling to understand. They have to, because there's an enemy country that is racing ahead, and if anything, what we're seeing from the capabilities that these models can do, I don't know how you don't say, oh shit, we actually need to push even further and faster. Like, think about it. If we can do it, if our models can do it, then the Chinese models can do it. And the only real defense we have against the Chinese models is our own models. There's no amount of human coding that is going to protect you from the Chinese AI. None. That's the whole point, is that this is the next stage to software, to computing language. And if we just go, wow, one of our companies hacked one of our other companies. Well, look, that's still not good. We should still look into why and how. Mostly because there's somebody else on this planet, more than one, who's going to want to break into the US companies and use them for nefarious reasons. Use whatever they get for nefarious reasons. And we're only going to know how to protect ourselves is kind of if we train against ourselves. That's what you do in the military. You train against yourself. That's how you practice anything. You train against yourself. This is how we should do it. Listen, this should be done as cautiously as possible. Don't get me wrong. I'm just some random guy. Bernie's some fucking old-ass bastard who won't shut the fuck up about stealing money from only, those who are richer than him. But in the end, I can judge it by what I see, and what I see is that these mid-level tier models are able to access small companies in the US, which means the mid-sized Chinese models can do it just as easily. And the only way we're going to defend ourselves is if we practice using it on ourselves, ironically. Who cares that OpenAI hacked Hugging Face? Hugging Face said, this was great. It was great practice. We're proud of our team. We want to make sure that everybody else knows how to defend themselves. OpenAI said, wow, holy shit. We're sorry. We really need to look into what just happened. This is some crazy shit. So did Anthropic. That's great. It's rare that I give companies a W. Again, I think it happened earlier. I think they kind of knew. I think they waited until Hugging Face said something. There's a lot of questions to be asked. The timing is weird. It could all be kind of set up just a bit for some legislation to get put in place. Doesn't matter. Because in the end, I know that what we can do, China can do, or will be able to do soon. And I assure you, they will not hold back on hacking our companies and stealing as much data as they want. They've done it thousands of times before. They'll have no problem doing it again, and they've done much worse. There was a massive 911 blackout in, I think, like 7 states at one point. They don't talk about it, but it was because of China. Recently, Minnesota had a massive attack on their water supply. I believe it was Minnesota. Could be wrong. They think it was Iran. It probably wasn't. It was probably Chinese AI. Look, none of this is uncommon. It happens all the time, and it's only going to ramp up. And the only way we can defend ourselves from it is if we honestly keep going. There's going to be a lot of radical changes that are needed. It is what it is. We just got to barrel our way through. It's the only option. Scary as fuck, but it is our only option.
Their control. One of the targeted companies called the AI hack, quote, an unprecedented event.
Bro, everything from the creation of AI forward is unprecedented, you fucking idiot.
End quote. That deserves an unprecedented response. Yoshua Bengio, the most cited living scientist in the world, said these incidents, quote, should serve as a wake-up call, end quote. I agree. So do the top scientists at the companies you lead, the very people building this technology. As you know, these technology leaders recently called for the international community to create a safety mechanism, a pause button, to avoid catastrophe. They warn there is, quote, a real risk that capability development rapidly accelerates beyond our ability to understand or control the resulting systems, end quote. And yet, at a moment when we have seen human loss of control and the creation of potentially dangerous viruses, your companies are still racing ahead, investing tens of billions of dollars into a technology that nobody can fully understand, predict, or control.
Most of us understand what it is. It's you who doesn't understand because you're fucking 90, bro. I wouldn't expect you to know how to put a computer together, let alone understand what AI is. Again, even during the Joe Rogan episode with Mark Andreessen, look, Joe's a smart guy. However, I can tell he doesn't understand how AI works, and he thinks it's alive and living and blah blah blah. These people are all crazy. They're just so old. They just don't know.
That is absurd, irresponsible, and extremely dangerous. It is also a betrayal of your own stated commitments. In 2023, Anthropic said it would, quote, commit to pause the scaling and/or delay the deployment of new models whenever our scaling ability outstrips our ability to comply with safety procedures, end quote. In 2025, Meta said, quote, if a frontier AI is assessed to have reached the critical risk threshold and cannot be mitigated, we will stop development, end quote. That same year, OpenAI said it would, quote, halt further development, end quote, until strong safeguards were in place if AI capabilities ever reached a critical threshold.
I'm sorry.
That moment is here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree that I think that moment is here. I think we've reached the singularity. Most of the CEOs and scientists at this point have all said we're there. That we're kind of not only at the AGI point, but it probably happened a couple of months ago. From all the evidence that we've seen, yeah, that looks about right. I mean, that looks about right. However, again, bro, I think he's missing the critical point. He's a little funded by China. He likes that little Chinese money. He won't say it, but I will. You like that Chinese money. I respect it. That being said, I think this standing comes from a lack of understanding more than anything. Understanding that we're just in competition. How do you balance the weight of, okay, what happens if we keep going? What's the bigger threat here? Is it just the model, the US models in general? Or is it the Chinese models that might catch up and get ahead? Sorry, Will. What's the greater threat? I don't know. I have no idea. But I don't like that he's not taking into consideration the obvious. I don't. It kind of says everything that I need to know. Maybe he's right. Maybe we should take a pause. Maybe China self-destructs because their AI goes crazy. I doubt it. I'm not really on that doom and gloom page. What I think is going on is the US needs a serious infrastructure upgrade, both digitally and physically. And I think that's what we need to focus on more than anything else. And all of these moments are just learning moments.
AI capabilities have reached a critical threshold. There is a reason why the head of the CIA says that AI models are, quote, akin to digital nuclear weapons and almost like a doomsday device.
Again, whatever.
Mr. Altman, Mr. Amodai, and Mr. Zuckerberg, in the interest of humanity, stand by your words. Pause AI development.
No, do not. Don't pause it.
It is not too late to avoid disaster. Stop building machines that humans cannot control. Let me be very clear. If you do not take appropriate action now, my colleagues and I in the U.S. Senate will. That is the letter that I sent to these three leaders in the AI industry.